live from the New Jersey simulation. Happy Friday. What is good? It is October 3rd. Haven't been on here this week on the live. Let's see where all the wide awake conscious beings are. We're going to get into some simulation talk. What's been going on? How we doing? Come on in. My brother's screen name is Ravishing Rick Rude. Somebody watched wrestling back in the day. We're living in a WWF wrestling. Where's Coco Beware? Much love. How we doing? Oh, them essential symptoms kicked my butt this past week. I'm really nasally, a little bit like Ned Flanders. Got the going on, but we feeling better now, a lot better. Got in 40,000 steps yesterday. Okay, my brother. So we're going to get into some simulation talk. Hello to Boston. Grand Rising to New Jersey. Much love, brother. Michigan. Okay, we got the 313. We got Canada, California, the Dirty Bay. That's Baytown. I know that Dirty Bay. Hola, hola. What's up, Florida? Vegas. We got people a little bit from everywhere around the world. Puerto Rico. Okay. Let me not talk too loud out here. They might have homeowners association come out here. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the simulation and the journey. Okay, so we got story time. Everybody gather around, get you some hot cocoa. We got a little bit of story time. Within the first year, I'll never forget this one particular moment. I was in New York with some tribe. We did a meditation, and I looked up at this billboard, and again, in New York City, and it said, slow down, people are going to get hurt. And the billboard was for drunk driving, right? Slow down, people are going to get hurt. I took it as I'm putting out all this information, all this content, decoding things, the simulation, matrix, how it works. But a lot of people are going to be hurt when they find out the truth about their reality. That imagine living your whole life as a lie. Imagine being lied to your whole life and realizing it was a lie. Because a lot of us felt foolish on the things that we believed. It started off with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. As a kid, I think deep down you were kind of like, nah, that's kind of bullshit, but I'm gonna roll with it. You give me some cookies and snacks and gifts. Hey, it could be real. A big man flies around the world in every chimney, 8 billion homes or whatever they were trying to teach us. So in understanding that, I saw that the game works in cycles and in waves. Can we agree that you see like this new wave, kind of like every 3 months of people waking up and they start noticing this or noticing this off in their reality, the sky or these cars, or they're trying to get me, they're trying to attack me. Everybody becomes the one. Everybody at some point breaks through the fabric of their consciousness and reality. Could be through a trip, could be through whatever. Something happens and it shocks their reality where they see something where, hey, I don't think this is all on the up and up. And why hasn't anybody talked about this, but it's been everywhere? So I'm going to talk really quick about what would the incentive be to break the simulation? Because most people, they wake up and they just go about their lives. No big deal. Okay, we live in a simulation. Big deal. This is the matrix. Big deal. I want to master this reality. I want to create the reality that I always wanted. The incentive to me was, I have to go back 6 years. When I had dreams before I was really awake, and these dreams started coming to me and all these things, and I'm like, no way, they lied about that too, and we probably didn't land on the moon. Like you go through this whole like peeling back of layers like an onion of getting to the truth. And I saw, on a personal note, you've never heard me really talk about money on here, have you? You never heard me talk about whatever, that part of the matrix. That's not my thing. But in that moment, I saw myself as the richest person in the world, financially rich. I feel spiritually rich because you remove all attachments, you become free. You can be cool living in a tent. You can be cool sleeping in a mansion. That's what truly freedom means to me, is that you're okay with no attachments. But I saw myself as the richest person in the entire world. And I'm like, how can that be? I'm Jonah Dwayne Rogers from Galveston, Texas. I was a millionaire at 22. I was homeless at 31. Life kind of gave me a sneak peek at what was going to come, right? And then I thought, okay, if we truly do live in a simulation, not if, I don't speak in really if anymore. There's nothing or no one can tell me otherwise. I know. I've lived it, breathed it, smelled it, tasted it, falling green numbers, everything. What would our prize be as a society, as a collection of beings that know we came here to basically change the game, to awaken humanity? What would our prize be? What would the incentive be? Because whatever comes next, we get to see what's outside of the simulation, right? If we're in an enclosed dome and the earth is flat, not going to get into that. What exists beyond this reality is what we essentially came for, is to connect all dimensions, which is infinite, by the way. And what our prize here would be, when I say topple governments, does that sound negative? Does that sound like we're violent or going to take to the streets? Because it really feels like this whole system is like one giant Ponzi scheme where the people on top get to enjoy everything and everybody else is kind of miserable and grinding their ass off every day, day in and day out. The other ones up top just laugh at you. To essentially break those systems in a loving and peaceful way, not harming anybody, people atoning for their sins, because there is the spiritual aspect of this simulation, then we would essentially win the game. We are the undercover boss. We essentially created this reality, and then you get to come back as an entry-level employee and see everything that you created. It's like if you were the CEO of Walmart, and then you get to come back as a checker, and you get punked and spit on, and you get poor wages. You start to suddenly have empathy for your employees. And a lot of us, if you've had pain or suffering or turmoil in this lifetime, you could have been an absolute asshole or jerk in the last lifetime. Have you made peace with that? Have you been treated really badly in this lifetime? Like, damn, what was I, or who was I? Because life has kind of shown me that people just aren't really that nice. And then it's really a reflection of me. I mirror people, so I'm getting lessons that when you understand that, it makes it become more peaceful here. And you see, okay, this is the incentive of being here. There is an incentive to, some people came to just be, some people came to build their brand, some people came to do everything and completely dismantle the simulation, because how cool would that be? How cool would it be to do something that nobody else has ever done? Think about that. I mean, it's not that that's the sole incentive. What if you get to meet your future self like Interstellar? What if you get to meet your future self in another dimension or another realm? What if you get to meet all the versions of you? How cool would that be? So we're in uncharted territory because we have more people awake now that's ever been awake in the history of the simulation of all simulations. Yeshua was awake a couple thousand years ago, and he's like, damn, I'm around a bunch of versions of me that have no idea that we're me. Buddha, 500 BC, I'm around a bunch of people that we're all the same person, but nobody realizes it yet. It's like coming from the future, incarnating in the past, which it's one and the same, and evolving everybody. It's changing bloodlines. A lot of us came from that pain and trauma and turmoil and lived those lives. And now we get to come and teach by just being, because how you evolve people is you evolve yourself. One day you'll realize that, because I still feel people that are just going in and in and in and in, trying to wake people up, imposing their will. And I'm going to be honest with you, you're annoying, because I was annoying. I was annoying as shit. I was annoying online, not to people who were awake, because we're like, yeah, dude, please preach, please. I'm trying to wake up my sister. They're trying to make me get the vax. They're trying to make me do this. Like, we took those hits. We ain't trying to wake anybody up anymore. That timeline is past. We're here to build community. We're here to raise our consciousness and vibration and let all the other dominoes fall. Let all the other pieces fall as they may, again, in a loving manner. We don't need guns. Our guns are our frequency. That's how we really change this whole thing. Our guns are locking in. And speaking of locking in, when you make up your mind to lock in the matrix, for example, last year, I did 115 days semen retention. Do you know how many Jezebels the Matrix sent me the first 3 weeks? And I'm not going to lie to you. I love sex. You don't think all the star people I've ever met, we all had that one thing in common. Or you might have had trauma at a young age, and it was the opposite. Either you love sex or you're like, nah, dog, I'm not giving away my frequency. However that kind of went about, but the Matrix will test you. When you decide to lock in, the Matrix is going to send every single agent on every timeline to say, let's see how strong you are. It's the same thing with food. I locked in this past summer in Sri Lanka, 40 days. 40 days. Do you know how many lobster fests I was around? Do you know how many? 40 days with no food. It was extremely, extremely biblical. 40 days with no food. And the Matrix sent every test in the book. And I'm just like, don't get me wrong, you evolve to the place where it doesn't even affect your frequency. But there's times where you get bored here. How many of y'all get bored in the Matrix? How many of y'all dip back into old timelines and old habits? Huh? You might open your third eye in these different ways. A lot of us do things because we're bored. It is very hard being a high vibrational being, an empath, when most people around you don't even want to have these conversations. They're not really interested in evolving. Their evolving is, oh, I just discovered fasting. I'm going to do intermittent fasting, which is where we probably all started. Oh, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to drink on the weekends instead of drinking 5 or 6 nights a week. They're evolving too. We're evolving them. We're helping them to evolve by changing our frequency. But at some point, they're going to start questioning and say, you know what? I want to have a higher vibrational conversation. You know what? All those flat earthers and tinfoil hat and anti-vaxxers and all these people that were telling me things, I'm going to listen for one time. And just to see, I want to put my mind and see, how did you come to that conclusion? How could everybody lie to us? How could our pastor lie to us about religion? How could our insurance agent lie to us about dying? How could our teachers lie to us about things? And then you start to see, this is a beautiful, perfect system and program. Everything works together to help you evolve, to help you ascend. You're given, you could be mad at the bad content or the bad movies or the bad television, the bad social media, the bad governments, the bad religions. You could be mad at everything bad here, but it's really just a game of choice. Nobody forced you to do anything. And I'm guilty of this sometimes where I'm like, la, 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 la. Nobody has held a gun to my head and said, hey dog, you got to go to that strip club. Hey dog, you got to go to that buffet and eat 8 plates. Hey dog, you gotta love the ladies every day. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm talking? Ain't nobody held a gun to my head. That shit was all choice. And I would be lying to you to tell you that I didn't enjoy it. My 20s was the Wild West, my guy. Up, down, left, right, whatever you want to, I mean. And then your 30s, you kind of like, oh, that kind of hurt. It's a gradual awakening up until I broke my arm in 2019, had 12 surgeries to save my arm from amputation, had a massive ego death, cried every single day on what a jerk I was. But I had fun, and I still love people. When people did me dirty, I would just be enraged. How could you do that to me? But ultimately, you end up forgiving it. Who cares? Every one of us evolved each other. None of us were perfect, but we were perfect. That's part of the program in the game, is understanding that you can do whatever you want. You can do anything you want. There are no mistakes. It's only rerouting to get you back ultimately to your highest timeline. And this is why I say, what is the incentive of waking up? Every day, at some point in your awakening, you said, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I hate it here. I hate it here. Nobody understands me. I don't care. All my bills are paid. Everything. You finally even find a place of happiness, and it still bores the piss out of you. Doesn't it? You finally found a place of like, okay, I got my spiritual buddies. We're having kundalinis for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, we got we got our spirituality on. Yeah, we love Yeshua. Yeah, Yeezy. And then you still get bored because that's the way the program is designed. It's designed for you to dip in the 3D. How many of y'all had fun in darkness? Raise your hand if you had fun in darkness at some point in your life. What we perceive as darkness. We love that too. And there's lessons in darkness. There is healing in darkness. There is a manipulation of energy that comes in darkness that helps you to evolve, to become this one huge galactic warrior and being of dark, light, and you become God. And you're not one religion. You're not one race. You're not one sex. You're not one anything. You are a soul and an avatar you're here to evolve everybody, because now you can put yourself in everybody's shoes. When I hear people or hear people talking, they've never gone through anything traumatic in life, or never been canceled, or everybody left them to die. At some point, all of y'all have been left to die where people were just like, nah, dog, you ain't coming back from this. Bye. They spit on your grave and tap dance on you. And all that did, you probably were like, nah, I'm not coming back from this. But all that did was motivate you at some point to say, nah, you got me wrong. Nah, my motivation comes from something beyond this realm. Competition, we all were competitors, whether sports, whatever it was. You wanted to be the best at something. And after the awakening, it kind of goes away. But with this, you're so far ahead. I need you to understand. I need you to get this one last message to you. You are so far ahead of your contemporaries and of your friends and your family groups. It becomes hard because it becomes difficult to stimulate your brain, because even information doesn't even feel new anymore. We love that spark. When's the last time you got goosebumps? When's the last time something just, oh, I've never heard that before? We've evolved so fast. It reminds me of when you're a kid. I don't know if any of y'all were in the GATE program or Gifted and Talented. You just outgrow your friend and family group. It just is what it is. And they called us smart asses because we were smart. We were we were walking computers there. So now we're here. And we're waiting for the rest of the cavalry to evolve. We're ready for the rest of people and humanity to evolve. I came to break the simulation. I incarnated to break the simulation. Spirituality saved my life. I did not want to be here. If a bus would have hit me, I said this many times, I didn't have the balls to do what some people do. I said, let me try to make it one more day. But if a bus hits me, I ain't going to be mad. I promise you. And then now to come to this place, I love planet Earth, or whatever plane we live on. I love our tribe. I love everybody seeing this, that at some point wanted to say peace. And we did create this reality. The incentive of breaking this simulation, you can live a good life. You can go work in the 3D. You can do whatever you want here. But when it's time to mash the gas, and it will be, I need to know y'all going to pull up. I need to know when the bat signal goes out that you're going to say, now it's time. Now it's time. I wish if somebody on here is one of those, if you're good at research, this might be the corniest 3D thing I've ever said. I really feel like a paid protester now, holding up a sign. If somebody's really good at figuring out how to do a petition, please figure out, how do we do a petition to get disclosure of our reality, that we live in a simulation, that we are star beings, that our souls are from somewhere else beyond this reality that we've been told. And let's get 100,000 people to sign it. Let's make them tell us that we're full of shit. Let's give them the opportunity. Let's give them the opportunity to tell us that we're fucking crazy. Because I damn sure didn't come to be normal. I tried that. So maybe we are a little bit, you get what I'm trying to say. Or maybe who cares? Is anybody, if you see this on here and you know how to start a petition and you tell me how to get, I will go sleep every single day in front of the White House. That doesn't really mean shit. It's just all these things are ornaments here. I will go sleep homeless every day, no tent, until we break the game. If somebody figures out how to get them to acknowledge what we're saying, because the manipulation that they're doing to people, the mind control. Yes, it is choice. Everybody has a choice. But we also are powerful beings, and I feel like we get on this wave of just playing defense. Oh, let's see what happens now. I know it's okay to be the observer. We are the observer. I am the observer. I used to engage in every confrontation. I don't want to win arguments no more. I don't give a shit. You win, buddy. You win. I don't want to argue with you. I'm not trying to change your perspective. I don't care. But if we align on certain things, like the nature of our reality, and that we're tired of seeing people suffer, then we're on the same wave. Like there's no team, there's no competition, it was my idea first. If you break the simulation, don't care. We broke the simulation because we're all one. Doesn't matter, right? So that being said, that for me is the incentive on getting disclosure, breaking this game, finding our tribe, connecting all 12 dimensions. In this realm, it's really infinite. It's infinite simulations inside of simulations inside of simulations, which makes it a beautiful, perfect game. So if you see this message and you can start a petition and you know how, and you're not just gassing me up or trying to get DM me. Let's get it popping, dog. Let's get it popping. I'll go to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Hey, and fast. Maybe I'll fast until the game is broken. How about that? Let me wither away, homeboy. Let me ascend. I will gladly die for this realm, for you guys to ascend, and y'all come meet me in a couple thousand years. Anyways, have a beautiful, blessed Friday. Hey, lock in. That's the real message. Lock in.